Okay, welcome to All Things Music, Wednesday edition, episode 63, I believe we're on. So, today we're going to talk about lessons. And, a lot of musicians come to the time where they think about giving some lessons for extra cash. So, not everybody, but some do. And if it's something that you think you might want to do, there's some things that you have to know. First thing is you should be at least 10 steps ahead of your students. If you're just learning, as a drummer, if you don't know many rudiments or you can't read music, it's not time yet. You should be able to at least read music a bit, have a good grasp on it. You don't have to be a master of all things to give lessons, but you should be able to read music. You should know the rudiments, the basic rudiments. Have some experience with playing. Maybe have had some live gigs, some studio sessions. And you always want to be learning, because I think it's good to stay steps ahead of your students also, so that as you learn, you can keep bringing them along. So there's that. It's not something to do if you're just starting out, but after you get some experience under your belt, then you could do that. Generally, don't take too many students at first, just so you can get a feel for it, get your feet wet. Resources I liked for drums, I'm using Ted Reed's Syncopation and Stick Control for the Modern Drummer, 1935 edition. That's got a lot of rudiments in it. All the rudiments. There's like 35, I think, chord rudiments, 30 chord rudiments, something like that. It's good for a snare drum, and it really builds your hands. Then there's, I also use the bass guitar method. And that is a good one for bass players. There's 3 books in one, and you can start very basic and work your way up. So there's that. I generally don't recommend taking young kids under 8 years old. Stick to kids that are mature enough to keep attention. Starting out, generally do 1 lesson a week, maybe an hour. Find out what your local music stores are charging. I generally charge about $15 an hour. Most places are charging $40 to $50 an hour. So I recommend going under that. You can get more students that way. And get materials like those sources that I mentioned a minute ago. I just also wanted to say is they start very basic and they go to intermediate and even into the advanced level. This way you don't have to buy a lot. I provide notes. I work with a local music store who can get the books to my students for discounts. And you always want to make sure that you stay tight with the student. Have a plan. Maybe write out 10 lesson plans, 10 sessions, and write out what you plan to do with each. Give homework, Um, Make sure that the students are doing the homework and they're grasping what you're teaching them. Different people learn at different speeds and through different methods. So get to know your student. Take your time. Be patient. Be nice. I know some people can test your patience, but um, with drums, I like to start them on the pad first, and and bass. Just getting started with bass. I've only been playing bass a few years, but I've learned scales. I know the notes on the fretboard, and I can read basic music. Um, I've learned a lot of songs. I've written music that I've recorded. So I'm good. I'm ready. But so I'll teach how to play, timing, things like that. Get a grasp for how good their timing is. But take a few students and then just go from there. Get a feel for it and see what you think. You should have a space that they can play in, that won't have a lot of traffic going through. No distractions. Generally, I had one kid that was 8, and he was a little all over the place. His sister ended up taking the lessons because she learned the material that he was supposed to do, and she liked punk music, modern punk, but it still fits. So she ended up taking lessons and doing really well, which I'll talk about in the next video. Yeah, so I had a secluded studio space where my band would practice, but it's where I did my lessons also when nobody else was around. That's pretty much really it to get going. Just make sure you know what you're doing. You're skilled enough. You don't have to be an expert. You'll gain knowledge as you go, just like your students will. And make sure that you keep learning, so as your students advance and you advance, you'll be able to keep bringing them along. Charge a good amount, so that you make some money, but not too much that they could go anywhere else and get the lessons for the same price. You can get more students by charging less. And really, that's about it. Lessons are really cool, though, for some extra money when you're able to do that. And, you're bringing up the next generation of bass players or drummers and influencing them. And, I'll talk more in the next video, too, but, being disabled really gave my students a lot of encouragement because they saw that I was doing it. And, when I did my recordings or I had shows, we would record my shows. And I would give them copies of things, tracks and whatever to take home and check out. They really enjoyed that. They liked that. It got to be personal. It's okay to be personal. You can judge how personal you want to get with your students, but I generally try to keep it professional, but, semi-personal at the same time. And that's really a good chunk to get you started for lessons. You may just say you don't want to give lessons. That's fine. I would say, just as a sidebar, that if you get an opportunity to take some lessons, whether it's going to clinics given by professional musicians, I've done that a lot. Been to a lot of drum clinics. Transportation, what it's turned out to be, it's a little harder for me to get to the place where I used to hang out a lot, the music shop, where they have clinics all the time. But I would love to see some good bass guitar clinics, and I can do that online, drum clinics online. But I've seen a lot of good rock drummers over the years, and even some jazz players and session players, and I've learned a lot, and they took the time to sit one-on-one with me a little bit after the clinic and talk, and I like that. They're cool to give you some of their expertise and some of the tricks that they've learned along the way. And that's kind of what you're going to do. You're going to mentor your students. And I'll tell you, for me, I really enjoy doing lessons a lot. One of my favorite things to do. It's a lot of work. You know, you got to put in a couple hours probably on each student each week. You're going to be working as much as they do by keeping the lessons focused and moving forward at a good pace, which you'll judge by your students' progress level. But I hope this helps. A lot of people don't talk about lessons, but it's one of the things that I've really... It took me a while to get started doing that. It was years after I was already accepted to drum schools, PIT out west, Juilliard. I never got to go because of money and disability-related things. The collective had classes upstairs in an old building in New York, which was no elevator. So I tell people, like, I was accepted to the collective, but I couldn't get in. And they're like, oh, I'm so sorry. And I said, no, I just couldn't get in because of the stairs. But, you know, a little humor. But, yeah, so, I mean, it's always good to just broaden your horizons. And when you're ready to give lessons, do that. If you have any questions or tips on what, you know, questions for getting started or things that you've learned, if you're a musician that's been giving lessons, throw some in the comments. Share this video if you like it. Please subscribe. I noticed, looking at my statistics on YouTube, that YouTube Studio, that 78% of the people watching these videos are not subscribed to my channel. So if you see these videos and you're liking them, even if you don't like them, subscribe. It helps me out. I'm trying to grow this channel. Been doing it now 6 months, and I really want to grow. Will I reach 1 million subscribers someday? That's my dream. That's my goal. But hey, the more people that I bring along now, I'll be able to reach that many people. And I've got a lot of topics, and I'm always open for more topics. If you guys want me to talk on something in particular, let me know. But definitely subscribe. Like the video. After this video, I do This Is All Things Music, where I talk about experiences and give tips and teach some things. I do this at 1 o'clock on Saturdays and Wednesdays. And then at 2 o'clock, I drop a bass playthrough on a song. And I've got so many styles. I think we're up to like 115 songs now, just in 6 months. So I got a lot of material. And I've got a lot more coming. All different styles. Predominantly, my preferred genre is metal, punk, and new wave, 80s especially. Hair metal, love it. But, so that's that. Subscribe. Let me know what your favorite bands are and your favorite genre. I grew up on Metallica. They were like one of my huge favorites. And then, you know, I became a Christian, and I really got into, like, early Striper and love Apologetics. They were like a Weird Al band, and they were all trained musicians. They played for years before becoming Christians. So they keep the music, and it's all like Christian lyrics to the songs. They do a phenomenal job. And they've got like 70 albums now of just all kinds of music, really good stuff. But yeah, you know, I like a little bit of everything. I love rock and metal, especially, and punk rock, especially along the lines of stuff like Social Distortion. That's really good stuff. But the Ramones, obviously, they're classic. The Crucified. But anyway, that's that. I think I covered everything, and if you like these videos, like I said, subscribe, please. 78% of you are watching and not subscribing. Just click subscribe. And if you want to know every time I put a video up, hit the bell. But other than that, thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your Wednesday, and I'll be back Saturday with another topic. God bless you guys. Have a great one.